Hi everyone, it's Candace from Beacon Hill Books. I'm here with my September's reads TBR-ish predictions. I'm kind of in the process of reading a bunch of them already, so it's kind of also a currently reading. But I will say the first book that I started in August but didn't finish and would have been my classics one was Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This book, I'm glad I read it. I read it as part of a buddy read, Krista's buddy read at Books and Jams. But I will say that I rated this 3 stars. It really took a long time for the book to get going. It was about a little after halfway when it started to get interesting to me. It was a slow read, and that's why I didn't finish it until early this month. I'm still glad I read it. I still think it's a great book, but just be aware it's very, very slow paced. I was also very sick about hearing about Rebecca, so I can understand what the narrator was feeling. And I kind of predicted the ending. There was quite a few twists, not all of the twists, but the ending I did predict. So not a bad read to start the month. I also will be reading Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. That's our Read Around the World book club pick for the month. That's on hold at the library, so I hope to be getting that shortly. I read it a very, very, very long time ago. I don't even really remember much, just that me and my sister really, really liked it. So I have high hopes for the reading this month. I have been reading Team of Rivals by Doris, Kearns, Goodwin with Liz from Book Learning. We've been reading about a chapter a day, and this book is, without the notes, about 750 pages or so. And we're at about 380 right now, so that's pretty good. We're into part 2, so the first part of the book has to do with Lincoln and the people that he ran against for the Republic nomination. To, their backstory and a little bit of their background, and then how the race went. That was part 1. So we learned a lot about, there was William Seward, Salmon Chase, and Edward Bates, which just reminds me of Downton Abbey. And then the part we're in now, part 2, is when Lincoln takes over office. And right away we're thrust into secession of the southern states. He has to deal with this right away. Lincoln works very diligently and in such a clever way. It shows how he can, I don't want to say manipulate because it sounds like in a bad way, but he does it in such a clever way to get people to do what he wants. And so he wants the best cabinet, and that doesn't mean always people that agree with him. So he chooses the 3 other gentlemen I spoke about, on top of even some Democrats and some people to help him with the war that are from the South. And I continually am saying to myself, oh my gosh, I'm so impressed by Lincoln. He always puts aside his personal wants and feelings and embarrassment. I mean, because he does mess up. He is human and tries to do what's best for the country always. I do like the little tidbits about Mary and their sons in the White House. I'm learning quite a lot. We just finished with the Battle of Bull Run. So we'll continue reading this, and I'm quite enjoying it. I'm also buddy reading the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin with Dee from Books and Quirks. We are also very much enjoying this book. I think everyone and their mother has basically read this book, so I don't really need to go into detail. I will just say that I was glad I was warned up front that it can be confusing because you are really just, again, thrust into this world, and it has all different rules and different even, vocabulary. But the story is interesting enough for me. I just want to keep reading more, so I'm really, really enjoying that book. I'm also in process of an audiobook called The Secret Language of Stones, which is number 2 book in the series of Daughters of La Lune by M.J. Rose. This book I think I would get more out of it if I was actually reading it, but I want to listen to it on audio. And it mentions things from the first book, but you can definitely read it by itself. It is about a girl, Opaline, who works at a jewelry shop during World War II, and she's trying her part to help people who have lost soldiers in the war. So she does that by making these talismans where she can communicate with the deceased person. And one day, one mother comes and she connects very strongly to the mother's son. And it's historical in a way, but it's also like gothic sort of fantasy-ish. So I like that combination, and I hope to finish that. I've had some people staying over, so I haven't been able to listen to it. I'm also currently reading Manhattan Beach by Jennifer Egan. This is an arc, so it should be coming out soon. I'm trying to finish it. I have not read Visitors from the Goon Squad from her, and I will say my first foray into her, I'm really enjoying her writing. It's really good. It's about a girl whose father is trying to make things in the New York area. During the war, he ends up having to deal with an old friend that is part of the mafia, unbeknownst to her. And she's kind of in her own little world following him, but also at the same time dealing with her home life, which is her mom, who used to be kind of a starlet, and her sister, who has a physical deformity. So it's an interesting book. It's just getting put on the back burner with all the other books I have going on. I will be reading a classic. I've thought about reading Mrs. Dalloway. I might also read I Captured the Castle, depending. Once Cheryl gets her Night Shadow in, which is the Great Coat series #2 by Sebastien de Castell. I hope we will read that. Possibly might also read Into the Woods. I possibly could read The Murder of Mary Russell, which is the final book in the Mary Russell series. And I think I'm going to give this month a break with Robin Hobb, even though I really enjoyed that last book. But I'm hoping to pick up The Angel's Game, I think. I'm really, really eager to get to this. So let me know if you've read any of these books and if I should prioritize any of them first. And sorry, this is a little late. I know it's already a week in. Anyways, hope you all have a great day. Happy reading.